Welcome in, everybody, to Fantasy Pros MLB. This is Leading Off Live. It is me, Joey P, Joe P Zapia. With me, of course, is the Welsh, and it's all of you, the Peanuts and the Cracker Jacks, here on our Twitch, live watching. It's twitch.tv/fantasypros. That's where you can see us every single Monday through Friday, noon Eastern. And, of course, you can also check us out video on demand whenever you want to on Fantasy Pros MLB YouTube channel. Subscribe today, drop your comments below, and you might win yourself a spectacular Jose Ramirez jersey from our good pals over at pristineauction.com. All you have to do, subscribe to the channel, drop your comments below, ring the bell till it goes ding. That's it. That's all you got to do. Welsh, good to see you, my friend. I can't wait to give this Jose Ramirez jersey away to one of our wonderful listeners. It was a good night for home runs. Two guys went yard twice yesterday, and both made me smile very, very much, but for different reasons.
Okay, let's hear it.
Want to guess? You want? Okay.
Guess the players?
Nick Kurtz. Well, Nick Kurtz, first of all, because not only did it go yard twice, there was some moonshot one. Like, he is hitting the ball hard. He looks like the guy that I kept watching at AAA. I don't know if you saw the home runs last night or just saw the box score, but I saw the homers, and they were spectacular. They were mammoth. Nick Kurtz, big-time power. Now, is he going to play today against the lefty? That's the question. Like, are we going to give him a rest? I hate when guys do that. You know, a guy gets hot and all of a sudden you sit him. But Nick Kurtz hitting those home runs, starting to rack up a few more. He's starting to look like he's settling in, and patience is being rewarded.
So the game works with a lot of these rookies. He doesn't have a hit versus lefties yet, by the way. He has had some at-bats, but he does not register a hit. It'd be probably behoove them, especially if they're committed to not having him in a platoon, like they said, that they would let him get some at-bats versus lefties. But no, this is the game with prospects. I think there's a bigger question about the ROI, where you get this, great young guy, and then they're awesome, and then they kind of pare back down and they come back. Like, what's the level of ROI you need really for investment? But Kurtz wasn't a pre-drafted guy. He was a player that you did spend some fab on, and things are starting to click. That's all that you've been looking for. And the underlying stuff is pretty phenomenal. The strikeouts are still the problem, but that thing is cut from, into the 40s down to, it's still 35%. It still sucks, but he's getting there. He's getting acclimated. It's an incredible ballpark for him to be in. Nick Kurtz, my pushback for weeks against all of you, Joe, and all of you, has been that we hold on, and Nick Kurtz is starting to click a little bit. So it's nice.
Also 2 home runs, but this isn't the other one I'm referencing, is Logan O'Hoppe, 470. Yeah, that was a far shot, too. Sears was throwing BP yesterday in that ballpark. It was a crazy town. Shout out to Iron Mike, who just subscribed here on our Twitch. But, yeah, Logan O'Hoppe, 2 homers. The Angels won 10-5. Also in that game, Lawrence Butler hitting a home run. So maybe, just maybe, getting a little hot here. Hopefully that'll work out, too. Also, when I was watching that Mets game yesterday, Mets Red Sox, which was entertaining at times, stressful at others, the Juan Soto at-bats, everyone's going to make a big deal out of it because, Juan Soto never strikes out 3 times in a game. It's Garrett Crochet. He's one of the best left-handed pitchers in baseball. Give him a break. And then when they went to the bullpen, he hit a ball that all night the wind was blowing in, and he hit a ball that probably would have been out in a lot of places, but it went all the way to dead center in Boston. And Duran hit a ball, too, that just died. It should have been a grand slam. I couldn't believe it didn't get out of that ballpark. It died the way the wind was blowing in yesterday. So take things with a grain of salt. Jason Dominguez, he took your salt and he threw it over the fence. Solo homer for him, wins the game. Ryan Yarbrough, also really good. I did watch some of that game last night too, flipping around. 1 run, 8 strikeouts. I don't know what version of Ryan Yarbrough all of a sudden has just dropped into the Yankees' lap, but it's been pretty decent. And I've been, trying to get him bounced from this rotation. I still think he's going to get bounced from this rotation eventually, but Yarbrough, is this a guy potentially you want to stream just simply based on the fact that he's a Yankee?
I think if you're in a spot where, it's a really good matchup, I would consider it, but my interest in Yarbrough is kind of minimal. My interest in Dominguez continues to roll. I think back in a very I told you so moment preseason where I was doing this big industry prospect draft, and I had taken Dominguez at the top. It still doesn't look like phenomenal, but it was this Roki versus Jason Dominguez situation, and just haven't had people in the camp with me about Jason Dominguez. And you know what? Again, things are clicking. Sometimes you bank on that talent skill set, and you just hope that the player has enough to be able to bounce back and show progression. And that's what he's done. Jason Dominguez still has an elite 54% hard hit rate so far this year. Barrel's dipped a little bit, but he's getting the ball in the air. He's tripled his launch angle. He's hitting the ball on that sweet spot better. He's walking more. You love to see it. And he's diversifying his ability of different pitches to hit, and he smacks the crap out of the ball. He can run some. Jason Dominguez, we've been a little wishy-washy about, I feel like, the questions we've got on Dominguez, where it's always like Dominguez or, like even Chandler Simpson. Dominguez has been a little bit dicey, but it's really starting to click, and you're seeing some of those loud stats and might quietly walk into like a 2020 season when it's all done.
Also yesterday, walking into not one but two home runs, my pick from yesterday. Jake Burger. Oh, I got Smashburger yesterday. That's right. Smashburgers everywhere. Got two of them. So I don't know. Am I up at double digits yet? Can we get?
I think you're at 10 now. I think.
Was I at 8 or 7? I don't know if I was at 7 or 8. If I was at 8, I'm at 10 now, and I'm coming for you. I'm at 11. Oh, Welsh.
You're only a couple away from me. I am cold stone. Very good ice cream.
And I'm Smashburger right now. All those two home runs were so good yesterday. Also so good. Jacob deGrom, 3 hits, 2 runs, 1 walk, 9 strikeouts in 7 innings. He got no decision, unfortunately. The Rangers could not handle their business against the Yankees. We talked about the Dominguez walk-off, but this was exactly what I expected yesterday. This is the only one of my couple bets, unfortunately, besides the home run and the deGrom strikeout total that hit. But this is what you want to see out of Jacob deGrom. Last couple starts, he's really settled in. And I'm going to take the L on this one. I was very afraid. I'm still very afraid every time he goes out and has a start like this and looks really good pitching deep into games. That's the thing that I think you look for with Jacob deGrom. I hope it holds. That's all I hope, because he is one of, if not the best pitcher in baseball. And it's been so unfortunate that we haven't had him for about 4 years now, maybe even 5, when you really could. Like 2019 was the last really good Jacob deGrom moments, but it's been so difficult to think that a guy could miss that much time with all the injuries and all the surgeries and all the issues to come back and even find some remnants of himself is very encouraging. I'm not holding my breath that it's going to last all year, but you have to be really impressed with what Jacob deGrom has done so far in his last couple starts, especially.
Yeah, I think maybe you can hold your breath a little bit. Like, you do know the injury lingers out there, but I've been speculating on this for a couple weeks, and you continue to see it kind of playing out that, he down ticked everything for about the first month of the season. And maybe that was strictly a health situation, and his velo was down a little bit. Results were a little bit different. We've also seen a very concerted change in how he uses a changeup. Last year, he threw it only 5% of the time, sample size, of course. But this year, he's throwing it 9% of the time, almost 10%. Let me look if there are any other years of high usage. Yeah, 8%. In 2020, we saw 16%. So he's kind of getting back to those roots. Velo is up as of recent starts. Changeup, it's starting to get going. And he's lowering barrel rates pitched against, and he's just not trying to be the 15 strikeout guy every single game.
Yeah.
I really do think that this version of him is a sustainable version. Now, I don't know if I'm going to pay top 5 SP or anything like that. There's an argument that maybe you can sell high on him, but I also think there's, if someone were worried, like, I would be comfortable maybe buying in on him for the rest of this season, that he actually legitimately might put up like 150 innings at this point with how this is working.
Well, remember they talked about an IL stint for him some point in the year just to give him a breather. Yeah, I recall Pedro Martinez towards the end too, when he wasn't the same guy, finding a different version of himself as a pitcher. I don't think with the velocity that I saw last night that's quite where we're at. But Pedro had some really successful years towards the end there with the Mets when he wasn't quite the dominant guy of 1999 anymore. Luciceros, I want to shout out because they graduated today with a master's. So congratulations. Wow. That is how you could get a master's degree and still be here every single day watching this show and it not make you dumber. I don't know. I don't know how that works, but congratulations. That is really something. So
forget it's like graduation-y time. So congratulations to everybody out there.
I'm going to graduation right after this show. I'm going to one. But so everybody congratulate Luciceros in the chat there. That's a great thing. Pick 2. That's awesome. Augustin, Jason, Josh Lowe, Nick Kurtz. I guess just in a vacuum, who do you want rest of season? I don't want to let go of Kurtz. I think it's Kurtz and Dominguez are the guys that I want. How about you?
I think it's Lowe and Dominguez, but like I don't know how I have catchers might make it important about Augustin. I think those are all really close. Unfortunately, at that list, Kurtz might actually be at the bottom for me, or he is, not might, but he is.
Game over. Who do I drop when Acuna is activated? Vientos, Doyle, or Augustin? I think Doyle. Boy, he dropped off. What an incredible drop off year over year. Doyle was so solid last year, and I know people were saying was going to regress, but man, Welsh, that guy's just fallen off a map compared to what he did last year. And last year, people were saying, "Oh, it's not going to last, not going to last," and he kept going in the second half. This year, it's been nothing close. I think it's Doyle.
I want to look to. By the way, I'll be very self-deprecating. I'm doing a little too much of like I was right, so we'll
No,
we'll knock myself down
Never
a couple
enough.
pages. I definitely will knock myself down a couple pages, but I have to have been one of the lowest on Brenton Doyle. He was a straight fade for me into the season. He had huge. He hit like 200 on the road. I think 300 at home. He had huge splits. Didn't buy the crazy big counting stats. I say all of this in that, like, putting him at high points of the lineup. He's got 4 homers, 5 stolen bases. He could still be a 2020 guy this year and be relatively-ish successful, but it's pretty bad. It is the results are bad. The stuff, though, I will throw out, he might borderline buy right now because he's got a 254 expected batting average, 13% barrel rate. He's not striking out anymore. The profile just looks very similar. And guess what? Shocker. He's underperforming against four-seam fastballs. That is something that tends to bounce back for hitters that have any real juice to them. So maybe he's a little bit of a buy, but on that list, I think he would be the guy I would cut.
Angel Theory has a question. Who can I get for Eovaldi? Sell high head-to-head? Well, I don't think you're selling high. Eovaldi's been really good the last couple years. I would think the return for him, you're not going to get like super elite. Could you get a James Wood for him, who is like kind of that tier in that next grouping? Like I'm just looking at names like Seiya Suzuki, James Wood.
Question.
I think
Seiya Suzuki's too low. I think James Wood might be too high. So it's somewhere.
Goldilocks?
Yeah, we need to find that just perfect.
I want to play it just right back in my trade.
Like I actually I'm kind of with the sellish thing on selling Eovaldi high, but I don't know if it should get you James.
What about
Wood.
Bregman? How about Bregman? Is that the one I can give you?
I would smash take Bregman.
Okay, all right. Eovaldi's really good. He's
been amazing, but like I don't know if I buy the K percentage increase sticking 3% walk rate. I guess he has had some 4%. I don't know. I don't buy this.
I had last year in a lot of leagues, man. He's quietly really good, and just nobody seems to care because all the hype is always around the other bigger names in that rotation. It was Scherzer for a while, and now it's deGrom. Everyone's talking about. Nobody talks about Eovaldi. Kevin Gausman, let's talk about him. I've been waiting for this one. I've been laying in the weeds. No runs, 9 strikeouts, no walks, 7 innings. Let's go against the Padres too. Take that, Michael Cali. How about that performance from Kevin Gausman? Tommy Edman, I haven't seen him in a long time. I know he's been hurt, so hopefully he comes back. Because right now, Kevin Gausman, I think with this performance, it's kind of leapt back into the lead in that big one.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I don't even remember like how we judge it. By the way,
I know it's hard because Edman's not playing, so it's really
I got to go backwards for just 1 second. Todd in the chat mentioned Eovaldi as far as first halves go, and this is interesting. He has been a first half guy for years. 2.97 pre-All-Star ERA last year, 4.81 in the second half. First half, 2.83 in 2023. Second half, 7.18. 2022, 3.34 in the first half. Second half, 4.91. So that is years upon years of over a run differentials first and second half. Sometimes you have first and second half players. But yes, Joe, it was all right. Kevin Gausman's amazing. Tommy Edman's garbage.
It was pretty good last night. Padres would say Kevin Gausman was pretty good. I just want the starting pitcher, not the utility infielder that had a good month against the team that he always crushes, which was the Cubs. Fabby Davis Jr. says more Goldilocks or Jodilocks voice. Do we approve that message or no? Never want to see
what voice is that? Oh,
why did I just did like this? Oh goodness gracious!
It's a great voice. It's a
great.
You
like that? All right.
You should do that more often on the videos.
Yeah, you think so? 6 innings, struck out 6 for Gavin Williams yesterday. Good to see him starting to get right. Hunter Brown got wrong though. 5 runs, 7 hits, 5 innings. It's funny. The last time he struggled was also in a day game. I know because I was on TV hosting in-game live at the time for Sports Grid. and we were watching a Hunter Brown game, and he kind of rallied, but that first inning, he was really rough against the White Sox. Maybe Hunter Brown's just not a day game pitcher. I don't know, but
Oh, we
to
can
me,
look here.
those are the only. I'd love to see the splits on that because this was
I'll
very
tell
un
you.
Hunter Brown like. I am not concerned in the least about this performance. It was against the Rays, not a great offense, so I understand why people are puzzled right now. We're all puzzled, but I will say, like that's it's
It's
not something I'm going to get concerned about necessarily.
there is a big differential, but the day games, he's still a great pitcher. So he has a 0.83 ERA in night games right now. So there's 5 starts at night. Ridiculous. 0.77 whip, 0.83 ERA. Day games, he's got a 1.07 whip, 3-1 record, but a 3.41 ERA. So it's over 2 runs differential, but that's still a pretty great pitcher that he is in the day. So I'm not sure if there's there's kind of a correlation there for sure, but that was I don't know if that was like the tough matchup that you're staring at, but he's gonna regress a little bit. Like his expected ERA told us that story. He's still pretty elite across the board. What you're more worried about is if they start to stack and he starts to look average, and he's not getting away with maybe some of the stuff he was getting away with earlier in the year. That would be what we're watching. He's also, I don't think I realized this. He's a pretty high percentage whiff fastball guy. And you don't see, I guess you got to look at K percentage, but yeah, geez, 44% K percentage from his four-seam fastball. That's not something we see a ton of. You usually see four-seam set up a lot of other stuff. So that doesn't feel
a guy who knows how to locate a fastball.
Yeah, well, it just doesn't feel sticky, but he's done. He did it last year.
You know how to locate it. I think that's the problem. Everybody throws 100, they just throw it straight. They can't locate it. They can't change the eye angle of the hitter. Todd also says that my Jody Locke's voice is a cross between Jackson Holiday with a bad British accent. I would agree. I think that's exactly what I was going for. Yeah. Nailed it. Also, Christian Yelich. We talked about him yesterday in the Q&A. We had a big discussion, so I don't want to go too much into it. Go back and watch the Q&A. It's on the YouTube channel, FantasyPros MLB. So Yelich was somebody we talked about off air yesterday after we recorded the waiver wire show, also available on demand on the YouTube channel, coincidentally. I think not. And then we got into a bigger discussion about Yelich. The counting stats are still there. The home runs, the stolen bases, the batting average hasn't been. He grounded out 4 times and struck out yesterday against the Orioles. He has a 64% ground ball rate. Well, I just thought that was a little high of a number there. 28% strikeout rate. And it's just not been good for Yelich. My concern with Yelich, people say, well, do you buy? What do you do? A player who has chronic back issues is just not one I want to make investments in. That's it. It's as simple as that for me.
Yeah, I saw somebody put out, I'd mentioned this on the live stream, and then I think it was this morning, someone mentioned, it's one of the worst ground ball rates, but he also, the new stat on Baseball Savant with attack angle, because like you'll see some of these players like Jacob Wilson and stuff have these really, really low attack angles, which is just letting the ball travel more and more and more and not being afraid to put it in the ground. But Yelich isn't doing that. Yelich has like league prototypical attack angle of like a 10 degrees. So that means he's getting on the ball at the proper time, which in theory would not increase ground balls like crazy. That would be as if he lost his attack angle. So it's really odd. And to me, I'm not sure if that's something that continue. I mean, maybe you just become bad and it doesn't matter, but there's still, and that would be like his barrel rate really sucks and stuff like that. But there's some stuff that I look at that don't seem like they can stick. Like, a negative launch angle. He has a negative launch angle right now. That's crazy. So I'm not really sure where it's coming from. Seems to be in his head or something like that. I'd love to just see some data that's like, oh, hey, look, his attack angle is usually like 10 degrees. It's down at 4. So he's super behind. And that's why he's just beating everything into the ground. Kind of don't know. He's just hitting a bunch of ground balls, making bad decisions. Maybe it's his back. Who knows? I tend to slightly be a buy on him still, but I understand why people are just getting out of the business because you can't be successful with that many ground balls.
Now, I'd buy Churio, but I'm not going to buy Yelich. That's where I'm at with those guys. By the way, attack angle, you can find this fall on CBS, 9 p.m. Eastern, followed by Max Velocity at 10. Definitely part of our extreme Tuesday nights.
That's my new name, by the way, Joe. If people weren't here yesterday, I'm now Max Velocity.
Max Velocity. There you go. Shout out to Jeff too. We'll see if we can get on the show tomorrow. He had a graphic made up for Max Velocity. He tried to get it to look like an adult film star, but AI has restrictions on it, which is a shame. But at least we know your adult film star name now. Joe Stradamus, everybody's favorite. Now, Sunday on Sports Grid, we're doing a 2-hour look back at the first 50 games of the season, Sunday morning. So go find Sports Grid, watch me on there, 8 to 10, because there's a really fun thing. And as I was going through all the stats, trying to pull up the first 50, trying to look back at what's going on, look ahead a little bit, I found one of our friends, Michael Harris, first 50 game stats, and I just figured I would throw him out here. 224 batting average. He has 3 home runs, all 3 of them. Really exciting. He scored 12 whole runs, 24 RBI. Michael Harris, overrated?
You said that. I thought there was more that you're going to keep going with your
I
Michael
say
Harris
it like
stuff.
a statement. I'm saying it like a question to you because I want to know if you're ready to make the statement with me.
The overrated, yeah, I mean, I guess I'm willing to kind of do that. Like he's stacked a couple years of like he's not quite a 2020 guy. He kind of is. His average continues to dip, but I'll say this: I still think he's going to bounce back. I mean, there might be kind of some split things. I'm gonna look here as far as first and second halves go over the last couple of years. Yeah, he was a second half guy last year, 2023. Massive second half guy as well. Really needs to get going. His expected batting average currently is 40 points higher. He's striking out less. He's just not making as same quality of contact. I want to look into some other things, but maybe you also have Michael Harris starting to accept to be like a different player. He dramatically dropped his hard hit rate. And what I mean by that is just, be more of a contact hitter. We see a couple guys like this that they're going to stop trying to, get the ball in the air like crazy. You would love to see him do what CJ Abrams does and just say, oh, like, I'm not a great barrel guy, but I get the ball in the air like 16-degree angles. Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess, yeah, but
give up some power, just hit the baseball, and maybe some home runs will come eventually. Yeah.
He's underperforming against every single pitch type right now while having the highest pull rate of his career and expected batting average is better. I think Michael Harris is going to bounce back. Actually, might be a pretty sweet, really buy low when you get the Joes of the world out there that hate Michael Harris.
I just call it like I see it. To me, he's a very overrated player, and he is a nice player. His ADP was incredibly overblown going into this season again.
That I do agree with. His ADP looks pretty stupid right now.
Oh, it's ridiculous right now. Here's a ridiculous question from Life or Death. Who's an ideal pitcher that I can trade Strider for? No, you don't trade Strider. This is the worst time. He has bad record against the Nats. I don't want to trade Spencer Strider. I just don't want to do it, Welsh.
I don't. Actually, I just saw the name that I would maybe look at. I think trading like pitcher for pitcher is really tough because that person, like you both have to pretend you're not convincing yourselves that you're selling off of this pitcher and that this guy is trying to buy high.
Like a really toxic relationship.
Yeah, I think specifically pitcher for pitcher is a very toxic way to trade. What I would say, like Christopher Sanchez is someone that jumped to my mind. I would want Sanchez plus for Strider. And maybe not Sanchez alone. But I wouldn't really look to trade Strider.
Here's a question. Would you trade, we got fun stats here. Jesus Luzardo, who's pitched incredible baseball this year. Who do you want rest of season, Strider or Luzardo?
I'll take Strider.
Okay, here's fun facts. Since ERA became an official stat in both leagues in 1913, 2 Major League Baseball left-handed pitchers have gone undefeated with a sub-2 ERA, 10 plus K per 9 over the first 10 starts of a season. One is Jesus Luzardo this year. The other one, Randy Johnson in 1995. That's it. Luzardo's out of his mind right now. Another fun fact, because again, researching, I got all the fun facts here. Logan Henderson of the Brewers is the only Major League Baseball pitcher in the modern era to strike out 7+ batters and earn the win in each of his first 3 career appearances. That guy's not going anywhere, folks. He's going no place. Transactions. Gene Segura announced his retirement. Boy, people are just retiring left and right. Colton Wong, Gene Segura, middle infielders of the past.
Cole Tucker, by the way. I don't know if anyone saw this. Cole Tucker, who is married to Vanessa Hudgens.
Yeah, he's been doing radio for a while.
Yeah, with big, beautiful hair. He's one of the local guy out here. I had a friend who was in a band with him. Like, he's great. Cole Tucker's one of the best human beings on the planet, and he's retiring from baseball, but he wants to try to continue in being coaching I guess he's already doing some media, but I think it's like some version of coaching or working at some hitting complex or something like that. So we'll see. But fun.
We should get him on the show. Let's get him on the show next year.
Actually, probably obtainable, to be honest with you. Gene Segura, by the way, the Diamondbacks don't pull off a lot of great trades. Usually they are, selling Paul Goldschmidt for nothing. But boy, what a coup. Just trading the epitome of selling high like a fantasy would off of Gene Segura's incredible season with the Diamondbacks. That's his career marker. They got Ketel Marte for him, and they just shipped him right out, got Ketel Marte. But I kind of like Gene Segura, at least for that 1 year with the Diamondbacks, which was otherworldly, but sad to see him go.
Lookie time. Cade Horton, 1 run, 5 1/3 innings. Only 3 strikeouts, though. Any input here on the Cade Horton start from yesterday, Walsh?
Yeah, I think it's. I think things are moving in a positive direction for him. I want the strikeouts to tick back up, but this is why we wanted them.
There was almost a very corporate answer. Things are moving right now in directions where we're looking at the headwinds and the tailwinds, and we're trying to.
It definitely was like I was still like I was looking at something, I was still in a thing, and then you threw it, and I was like, "Wait, who are we talking about?" Yes, things are moving great. Projections are looking solid. I think we're going to hit our monthly quota. We're good.
Andrew Painter. 7 strikeouts, 2 runs, 1 earned in 4 innings for AAA Lehigh Valley. Also, Ronnie Mauricio 2 for 2 with another home run, 2-run homer for him and a steal. I got to say this, Welsh. Brett Beatty looked really sharp yesterday. He looked like he's starting to settle in a little bit and play like Brett Beatty in the minor leagues. That's the first time last night I'd seen that version of Beatty. It's only one game. I don't want to take too much out of it. But Vientos better get his crap together because Mauricio's hitting. Beatty's starting to look comfortable. Luis Angel Acuna is not going anywhere, like I said, because he's a fiery guy. He's a good guy to have on a team. He's out. He's in like Juan Soto's face, like firing him up, and like he's just that kind of guy. You need those guys on teams.
You do.
Vientos better figure it out and soon because he's in a weird spot right now.
Better fix it.
Better fix it. We're making adjustments. We've looked at the data, and we're gonna do our best to move forward here.
We have a quarterly plan where we are going to make organizational adjustments where things are going to hit that ROI projected number.
Yes. Yeah,
I've given presentations, by the way. Like people don't know, I used to be in a very corporate world. When I'm prepared on presentation, Welsh is quite impressive. Just letting you know.
It's true. I've seen it. It's very impressive. CJ Kifis, who we just talked about a couple days ago. We got to talk about again. 2 for 4 with a walk, a double, 2-run homer at AAA. It's going to be Kifis time sooner than later. I'm just saying, Welsh. I'm just saying. Let's get to the 3 up and 3 down. Dustin May, 8 strikeouts in 6 innings. Corbin Burns has been back on track. Remember, he had that skipped start and it gave him a little bit of a respite. Things have been much better since. 3 runs over 7 innings, 8 strikeouts. And Tyler McGill, 4 hits, 1 run, 1 walk, career high, 10 strikeouts. Tyler was terrific last night. He was throwing a heavy fastball yesterday, man. It was crazy to watch. Unfortunately, he got into some trouble there, and the defense did not help him out. One of the defensive problems was he went to go try to field a little ground ball instead of letting the catcher get it, and he threw it into the outfield. But McGill looked really sharp, and that's been a guy whose strikeout rate has been higher this year than any other year. And we're starting to wonder, this pitching factory we talk about, and, we keep talking about it because they keep having outings like this.
Pitching factory. Yeah,
hey,
they've definitely turned out like some dudes who work scrap pile. I'll give them credit for that, for Griffin Canning and Tyler McGill. 31% K percentage for McGill. He still walks way too many, but he is more than serviceable to be at the middle of your rotation. And Corbin Burns, I had him plus, I just want to point out, plus 140 for 5.5 strikeouts yesterday. I played him at because those changes are real. That rest, he was able to rebounce back. He's got his velo back. And an interesting thing, Eno Saris from The Athletic talked to him, and he was very insightful about, because we designated as a cutter, the main fastball that he throws. But he says in this video with Eno that he's just like, listen, I'm actually going more four seam. I have four seam action. I'm throwing it like a four seam. There's natural cut to it. And he says, when I get in trouble is when I start to force the cut. And he's like, I'm trying to not do that. It's really interesting take, really interesting video for a guy that I said 2.5 weeks ago. Actually, the beginning of the season said bye because, and I had nothing for you. I had no good reasoning for you, except that I believe he will bounce back. And then we started seeing some actionable items, and we're seeing some data that proves it over the last 3 starts. Hopefully you did. Very interesting with Corbin Burns, and he very much looks like the part of that pitcher, that great version of that pitcher from last year.
A DJ Epoxy Subbed with Prime. Thanks for subbing with us. Wiki scratch. The downs yesterday. JP's here is, oh my God. He didn't leave anything down. Everything was up and it all got hit out of the ballpark. Gave up 4 homers yesterday. Carson Palmquist, which is, I find that name just very uncomfortable. 10 hits, 7 runs, 6 earned.
Why?
I don't know. Carson Palmquist? It sounds like a you know when you go to like a supermarket that's like off brand, like the dollar store or something, and they
Oh,
have food in
Dr.
there.
Rocket.
Yeah, like Palmquist is like one of those weird soda brands that
He
they have.
sounds
You're
like
like,
the new student at the school. Like, everybody, could you please welcome Carson Palmquist? He's coming from us
yes,
from Tennessee.
yes, he enjoys Minecraft and he's a bit of
Dr.
a
Rocket.
loner. Yeah, there you go. Logan Webb, 6 runs. Of course. Of course. This is the one bad start Logan Webb has had because I made it the bet of the day yesterday. Just awful. He had an ERA under 1 in all 4 of his home starts before this. Just brutal. I don't even want to talk about it. This is just
Nostradamus.
pissing me
Joe
off. Joe
Stradamus.
Stradamus. So the betting has been rough this year. It just has.
Baseball betting is hard.
But we're up to 11 homers. I don't know what do you have to get the board? Well, we'll see. We'll see in a second.
It's 14 or 15.
Let's get to the injuries. Ronald Acuna 1 for 4 with a walk, so getting closer on him. Santander was removed yesterday. He's been dealing with a hip injury, but he was removed yesterday later in the game. I think it was just precautionary because they were up by 2 touchdowns in that game. I think, but so bad. Aaron Savali. Oh, am I back?
Yeah, you're back.
Okay.
I heard you get
there.
silent, and then I looked at the screen, and you were like this. You were like,
Got fuzzy.
yeah.
Yeah, okay. Aaron Savali, I almost forgot he was in the system for the Brewers. Minor league rehab start for him in AAA. Cutter Crawford, he's going to face hitters today. Tanner Houck on Friday, he's going to resume throwing. And Romy Gonzalez with that quad is going to be out longer than anticipated. I guess he had a setback. Mike Trout is running at 80%. I don't know how you gauge that, but apparently
You know
80,
we
not
need?
81, not 79, 80%.
I would love this. I'm asking
80.
for too much here. I want, what is the game on the Price is Right? The yodeler where the guy's going up the hill. I want that with Mike Trout's face on it. And it's just, yole, 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 yole. I can't remember what that's called, but that should be our injury tracker for Mike Trout getting back in. He's just, his face on the yodeler. On the cliffhanger. Yeah, exactly.
Yodelay-hoo, yodelay-hoo. And it was, as a kid, you'd love it because it's the building of the drama as it gets higher and higher up the thing. Is it going to fall off? And the best is it stops right at that peak, like 1 or 2 little notches away.
Dude, peak growing up in like the late 90s and early 2000s was being sick, not having to go to school or faking sick, sitting at home at like 9 in the morning and watching Price is Right and watching Plinko and then the yodeler. And that was the best.
Solid. Very solid. There's no
Plinko?
doubt about that.
No.
Next up, we have Jonah Heim, who came out yesterday with a hand injury. They said it was a nerve issue, so more to come on that. Tyler Glasnow is going to throw a bullpen session Friday. Tario Estrada has begun his rehab assignment, so look for him if you need some help at second base. He's probably floating around waiver wires. We were excited about him going into the season, and then injury struck, that wrist issue, unfortunately. Brandon Woodruff, 4 shutout innings in his 571st rehab start of 2025. So we'll see if he's ready for another 300 more. DL Hall also, because the Brewers just have all these pitchers in rehab. Brewers have the greatest AAA rotation of all time.
Totally.
DL Hall, 3 more shutout innings for him. And Verlander headed to the IL with the pectoral discomfort that we discussed yesterday. So, Welsh, any of these injuries stick out more than another one to you?
The Jonah Heim one I was watching live, and the announcer immediately, I want to say, like maybe he didn't have his glove on or something. And as soon as it hit, he was like, ooh, that's going to be really bad. The vibration you get on the hand, he's going to be feeling that. And then for the next like 5 minutes, they kept kind of going back. They're like, yeah, he's favoring it. And then they took him out. So there might be something more beyond that I'd be a little bit worried about. But Thairo Estrada would be someone I would go and pick up right now if he's available. I think got just kicked to the wire. Just remember from that, there's the ballpark perspective, but also there's some loud potential counting stats out of him, batting averages there. And they've been talking about moving off of guys like Ryan McMahon and trades and stuff. Either way, there's going to be playing time for Thairo Estrada. So I would go and pick him up, especially with that rehab assignment, assuming he might need a little bit longer, which I don't think they should do, but I would pick him up assuming like mid next week is a possibility, if not the following week.
The other thing when I was homesick after Price is Right, I used to have a VHS tape. They did like a marathon of like the baseball bunch. And again, I don't know if you know what this show is. Johnny
The
Bench.
baseball bunch?
The
No.
baseball bunch. It was these kids and Johnny Bench. It was like the early 80s. And every show, it was like a half-hour little baseball show. And it was the San Diego Chicken, Johnny Bench, and these rando kids. And with Tom Seaver and Pete Rose, like all these like stars would be on there, and they would come on and do baseball stuff with them. And it was like a little baseball comedy instruction show. The baseball bunch was
should do that with Max Velocity. Max Velocity and Friends. I'll do a modern version of that.
All right, so let's get this one from a DJ. I picked up Narvaez and Baldwin when we found out that Contreras had a fractured finger. Don't have room to keep them both. So Narvaez or Baldwin rest of season?
Picked up Baldwin. I'll go with Baldwin for sure.
Yeah, Baldwin's been hot. It's kind of hard not to go with Baldwin at this point in time. All right, Welsh, it's that time again. It's time for the best bet
of Thursday. Oh, the best bets of Frozen Joe. What a beautiful. Your bets were a little frozen yesterday, Joe. I believe mine were pretty solid. I was 2-0 with one push, so I will take that. Joe is back. Let's hear what you got. Oh, you're living on the dangerous side.
Yeah, I don't know why. Ranger Suarez over 5.5 strikeouts. He's not a big strikeout artist. They minus 118, but it's the Rockies. And they make everybody look like Sandy Koufax. Rafael Devers, let's go for the RBI plus 155. He's swinging a good bat right now. And Marcelo Zuna in a good matchup tonight for the Atlanta Braves. Let's go for RBI for him as well, plus 120. Welsh, what do you have for the people?
I got a total base fest that we're going to rock in today. We got some early games. We got some really tight lines, some really tight first fives that we're going to jump into the total base market with some wind pushing some of these games out there. We're going to start it off with Kerry Carpenter over 1.5 total bases plus 115 against righties. He's always money. I believe, it's really low home run markers as well. So I love Kerry Carpenter. This is probably one of the best. This reminds me of yesterday's Corbin Burns, where I played it at plus 140 or 150 for 5.5 strikeouts, and it hit James Wood over 1.5 total bases at plus 150. I very much like this matchup. Really, really good marker for him. And we're going to go back to Gunnar, who Gunnar didn't get me the homer the other day, but he did give me the actual bases. So we are going to rock over 1.5 total bases on Gunnar Henderson, every single one of these at plus money. Let's play them out and let's get on base with Carpenter, Wood, and Gunnar.
All right, let's get to the home run board. And before we do, quick shout out too, if you're looking to make some wagers, make sure you go to fantasypros.com/leading off. You can go to FanDuel right now, bet $5, win $250 if your first bet hits, but only on FanDuel with fantasypros.com/leading off. And don't forget to use the Betting Pros premium tools. Use the promo code leading off there, and you will get a 7-day free trial of the best betting tools on the planet. So if you're betting NHL, NBA, MLB, or even NFL futures right now, you can do it. Bet smarter, not harder, with the Betting Pros app. Let's look at the home run board. Where are we with the home run board? Ooh, so 14. I need 3 more-ish. Probably more like 4.
Yeah, you need to get to 15 by the time you're up there. It's gonna push. But honestly, 16 might be the number. I'm on thin ice right now. Like, I'm barely holding on. So, I have not had a homer, and I don't know what the account is currently. It has to be at least 10 days. I have not registered a homer forever.
Cold right now. That's how cold you are.
Cold as
you're
ice.
Christian Yelich cold. Marty's still at the top with 21, with George tied far out at 20. DJ Osborne at 20. Wonky's moved all the way down to 7 spot here with 18. So Welsh is still hanging in there, still on the board. You've been on the board for a long time. You should be very proud of yourself. I am going to go with a Philadelphia Philly today for my home run this afternoon. Kyle Schwarber, who's also on fire, plus 235. He's got good career numbers against the Colorado pitcher he's going against today, and I'm just going to keep pounding on that Philadelphia Philly lineup as much as I possibly can. I almost took Castellanos today, too, so going back and forth. But let's go with Schwarber. Where are you going, Welsh, for your home run call?
I'm joining you on that one. I'm taking a Schwarber fest. So we're going to.
Okay.
This is going to be one of those block situations where if we're going up, we're going up together. Schwarber fest is upon us. It's in Colorado. Herman Marquez got an 8 ERA. I could have maybe picked Harper, but we might go twofer with Kyle Schwarber today. So Schwarber fest for the leading off combo home run play. Let's
2 more will put me at 13 before the weekend. I like the sound of
his total base bet, by the way. You have to bet 3. They want plus. If you want plus money, you've got to go to 3
I
total
saw
bases,
that.
which is
I
wild.
saw that. It was like minus money for RBI too, which is never.
Yeah.
You never get minus money for RBI. That's Vegas telling you something, boys and girls. Great show today. Appreciate everyone hanging out with us. Of course, subscribe to the YouTube channel. And don't forget, whenever leading off is done, stay tuned for Max Velocity. That's right. He's a cop on the edge. Justice will be served.
I don't need a
Max
seat.
Velocity.
The world is my seat. I sit in air. Max velocity. Justice is served.
Yeah, that is weird. Why is he's like in that iron chair pose? It's very weird.
It's not really me either. That's like Ben Affleck.
It's like the most handsome version of you ever.
If I lost a lot of weight and then like if Ben Affleck played me, like that's it.
Yes, that's it. If Ben Affleck played Welsh in Max Velocity.
Max velocity, where justice is served.
Dun, dun, dun. All right, that'll do it for us. But the story of the game goes on for the Welsh. I'm Joey P. We'll see you next time, kids. I gotta set a tape for Max Velocity. Pretty sure.
Get a chair.
Yeah. Don't miss it. Set that DVR, baby.
Justice has no seat.
So you get played by Ben Affleck and I get paid by what? Paul Giamatti? Is that what happened?